Here with Jordan Burroughs. Day before Final X, you've been in every Final X. How excited are you headed into this one?
I'm pumped, bro. Honestly, I think of the moment, I'm trying not to lose myself in the magnitude of it, but I also think about all the people that are going to be here to get a chance to watch me wrestle. That was the dream. I went to the University of Nebraska. I was 1,500 miles from home. So my family didn't get a chance to watch me often. And then I trained and won most of my World Olympic gold medals while living in Nebraska and doing it far from home, overseas, in foreign countries and cities all over the world. So it's very few times that I get a chance to wrestle around people who love me, appreciate me, and admire me, and ones that have watched me grow from relatively unknown to arguably the best wrestler in American history. So I think this is a big moment for me, a cool opportunity, but beyond all that, the wrestling is what I'm excited about. I feel like I've been improving in these incremental phases over the last 6 months. I feel like a better wrestler. I'm at my best. I feel like I'm at my best. I feel fit, I feel strong. I'm not dealing with any injuries like I typically am and coming into big events. And all of those things kind of give me peace and confidence.
Same opponent. You got Chance Marsteller again. He took a match from you last year.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that series, and what are your expectations going into this one?
He needs a perfect game plan to have the potential to win. And he needs to slow me down to win. He can't really score. He's not really scored. So I think that in my camp, it's extend the positions, get angles, elevate the pace of the match, be athletic, be dynamic, and sting them. So I think that's really, the gist of my strategy is a lot of footwork, a lot of movement, a lot of elusiveness, and then striking and stinging, finishing quickly, and just not really hanging in ties. I can brawl, and so he invites me to brawl because I think that's the matchup that he really wants is to slow it down and just make it a battle of hand fight. But with my athletic prowess, that's not something I want to do. So last year I was kind of like, okay, you want a hand fight? I can hand fight. But ultimately it became harder than it necessarily had to be. So I think that going into this year, it's just being dynamic, a lot of motion, a lot of movement, quick shots, finishing strong.
Yeah. I mentioned you've been in every Final X, but you've kind of said, hey, 2024 is it for you. So this is potentially your last Final X. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, no.
No? Okay.
Not really. I know it's coming to an end, but I'm not really thinking about the end as much as I'm thinking about the moment, because the end will come a lot sooner, and it will be a lot more devastating if I'm not winning. So, I'm really just thinking about the wrestling. I'm thinking about the competition and thinking about what I need to do to win tomorrow. That's important to me.
What is this event, especially with the streets? I know you talked a little bit about it before. Just being back in New Jersey, what does this event mean to you specifically with Beat the Streets involved?
It's sweet. I think we've done well from a ticket sales perspective, so we'll have a large crowd. I think they'll get an introduction to Beat the Streets, and really it's just made it accessible. A lot of times in the past, Beat the Streets has had a level of exclusivity attached to it, where it was expensive to get tickets, and they were in really small venues, and you just didn't feel like it was accessible to the average man, the average wrestling fan. The real wrestling fans are the average man. And so I think now that we're back in Jersey, you got the best wrestlers in the world competing right in my backyard. And that's how this dream was inspired for me, was watching someone who was great at it do it close to me. And that motivated me. And I still draw from that motivation that was instilled all those years ago. So I think we got the ability to inspire a generation. We got the ability to help others get their eye on the sport and really start to desire a willingness to invest in it. And then lastly, I would say we get an opportunity to do this sport in a place where it's truly loved. Like, people love wrestling in New Jersey. Like, it's a great sport here, and it's appreciated and respected. And so I'm thankful. I'm thankful that it's here.
Jordan, how many other questions for you? Appreciate your time. Anything else before we let you go?
That's it, man.
Thanks, Jordan.